A very warm welcome to one and all that are part of this webinar. I thank you all for sparing your precious time and being a part of this webinar organized by markpatent.org. Markpatent.org is actively associated and dedicated to the support and advancement of intellectual property elements. The main object of this organization in-depth understanding to those who are involved and to know intellectual property laws relating to trademark, copyright, patent, design, and cyber, and to create awareness of such laws among the public. The founder of the organization realized that a need for dedicated entity to create awareness of intellectual property right among attorneys, advocates, professors, law students, and also among manufacturers, industrialists, traders, etc. Markpatent.org conduct various seminars at local, national, and international level, and lecturers as well as study circle activities to propagate the knowledge of intellectual property laws to the layman, thus to create awareness regarding the IPR laws. I am Jalashri Dave, your host through the entire webinar and a part of Acharya and company at head office. Due to the situation of global pandemic COVID-19, the digital world has given us the facility to conduct such a useful webinar. We have gathered today to share our knowledge, ideas, and collaborate with our peers from the industries pertaining in the field of intellectual property and industrial design. Acharya and Company was founded in 1977 by respected late Sri Hari Prasad Acharya. We are an exclusive IP boutique. We offer all services, be it legal or technical insight relating to intellectual property rights in India as well as international. We take pride to convey that Acharya and Company has extended its services to Mumbai, Rajkot, Morbi, Baroda, and Ahmedabad. It is the vision of Dr. Rajesh Kumar Acharya that we have marked our presence in the global market by having offices in various countries, that is Mount View, USA, China, Japan, and Canada. May I please welcome our dignitaries, Mr. Pradeep Chaudhary, Principal Consultant and Advisor, Industry Development Network at New Delhi, Managing Trustee of markpatent.org, Dr. Rajesh Kumar Acharya, IP Domain Expert, Mr. Padmin Bhuj, Advocate and Trademark Attorney, Mr. Ketan Bhatt, and Trademark Agent at Acharya and Company, Ms. Dimple Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Rajesh Kumar Acharya, proprietor of our company. He is a patent and trademark attorney and is registered to practice law before Canadian and Indian patent and trademark offices. He provides comprehensive action plan to national and international clients in a wide range of fields to protect their immensely valuable intangible assets. Under his guidance, the firm has grown from a modest beginning to its present position as one of the leading intellectual property firms in India. He is also a member of the Bar Council of Gujarat, having an extensive background in the prosecution and litigation of all IP-related matters. He is best known for his books in India, the patent law, the trademark law, the copyright law, the biological diversity law, and the design law. With my utmost pleasure, I invite Dr. Rajesh Kumar Acharya before you to share his piece of wisdom.
Thank you, Jalashri. First of all, I welcome all of you who are the intellectual property experts on the dais and off the dais. Every year, since more than 15 years, we are arranging annual webinar seminar related with intellectual property in Ahmedabad. It is more than 15 years we are arranging this international seminar. But this time only we couldn't arrange because of this pandemic situation a physical seminar. So we thought, let us start with webinar on intellectual property by markpatent.org. I received a call and emails from various intellectual property lawyers and who are working in the intellectual property to do something for arranging international seminar. The limitation as far as international seminar, it is a time zone, because we have when we were arranging the seminar, physical seminar, they were coming to India, so they were following the Indian time. But in webinar, people who are in US, people who are in Europe, people who are in Asia, they are having different time zone. So we thought yesterday only that let us have international webinar for 5 days for different time zone. One for the US people, one for European people, one for Asia, that is India, and Chinese and Japan people. And it may be not long webinar, but it may be 3 or 4 hours webinar every day for different time zone. We are working on that. But to start with this webinar, particularly as far as the intellectual property we are talking, that is always, we think of trademark and patent. Industrial design is little bit neglected as far as intellectual property are concerned. But industrial design is also very, very important, because just by looking the item which are given shape, from that shape we can find out what the brand it is and what is the, who is the proprietor of that industrial design. And it becomes very, it having impact on our mind very much. So today, it is, we have arranged a special webinar for industrial design. It is also a very much intellectual property. When we create a design, it is a creation, and when it is a creation, it is intellectual property, and it requires a protection always. And it is in India, it can be registered under the Industrial Design Act. So today we have very eminent speakers, Mr. Padmin Buch, who is always with us since more than 15 years in our all webinars. We have also Mr. Pradeep Chaudhary, who is a principal consultant and advisor for Industrial Development Network in New Delhi. We are also having Mr. Ketan Bhatt from Acharya and Company, who is also a design expert. We have Mr. Dimple Dave. These all are from related with the designs work. So I'll not take much of time, and let us start. And I also welcome all the speakers, and again welcome all the audience rather. So welcome and thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It is under guidance of Dr. Rajesh Kumar Acharya that Acharya and Company is now a team of highly qualified and expert visionaries. This session will have series of panelists giving a remarkable approach in the subject matter regarding industrial design and intellectual property. Now, I am much delighted to introduce you Mr. Padmin Buch, who is a national level IPR domain expert, presently a senior visiting faculty with Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. He is also project and management advisor. He holds about 30 years combined experience of IPR, corporate industry, project management, entrepreneurship development, and academics. Mr. Buch, as the managing director of JITCO, established patent cell at JITCO. He received the GTO Pedagogical Award for contribution in the IPR in the year 2013 and IP Samiratan of the year 2018 award. He is also an invited speaker at national and international conferences and seminars on IPR. We are glad to have you here for sharing your wisdom of thoughts upon IPR. On official work and assignment, you visited Japan, China, USA, France, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Guyana, South Korea, Taiwan, and all India. He has completed B.Pharm, MBA, CMC, PG Diploma in Patent Law, Narsar University, Hyderabad. I now request Mr. Padmin Buch to share his views with us.
Thank you, Jalsri, for the kind introduction. Well, as Rajesh Bhai very well said, I am very much part of the SK family and the Mark Patent family, and I'm happy and proud of it. At the same time, I must compliment Dr. Rajesh Bhai, Omkar, and the entire team for coming out with a series of webinars in the era when we could not meet physically, as you said. Mark Patton and Acharya has decided to come out with a series of webinars, and they are on the diverse topics. And each webinar has a different topic. Each webinar has a different topic, speakers everywhere. It's a great enlightenment process being undertaken by the Mark Patton organization, and I must compliment them. And now with the international webinar also being planned, I'm sure that it will be even more value addition to that. Yes, as Rajesh said, normally it is seen that industrial designs is something which people don't talk much. Much more is known about the patents and copyright and trademark, particularly in general. The people who are in the field of intellectual property and its rights know the value of industrial design. Now, industrial design is a very typical kind of. I'm not an expert like Dr. Pradeep and of course Ketan and other people, but yes, I am in the field of IPR where I consult and I'm always with the corporates, and my life to emphasize the importance and value of IPR, not only legal part of it, and make them aware that they can do much more. Industrial design is one such kind of component. Normally हम बोलते हैं कि don't go by the face value. You चेहरा मत देखो, दिल देखो. इधर चेहरा भी important. Because no, that is the basic beauty of industrial design. Aesthetic value, setting it apart from the other product. Whether it's a pattern, shape, configuration, ornamental, a combination of the lines and colors. The fact remains that if it is eye-catching, that also is an important part. Yes, we made the technical features of a television set. We also see the shape to some extent. And the biggest example is the furniture industry. You know, if you want to understand the value and importance of the designs or industrial design and its IPR value, see the segment of furniture. It has emerged as one of the huge segment in the world market. And what is the value addition? The design. Every corporate, every hotel, industry in general, tourism industry in general, they change the design of entire set of furnitures every alternate year, if not earlier. Why? People go by the face value. People will have to see. If people like it, there is a different set of designs in the furniture. Another example, of course, is the jewelry market. Every Tanishq or such kind of brand which is introduced in the market is protected by the design. It sets it apart from creating a niche value. And the jewelry market, as we all know, is a huge segment. So, design, in fact, I would have to also understand why it is called industrial design only. आप जरा उनको निकाल दो, इंडस्ट्रियल शब्द निकाल दो, तो ज़्यादा लोग ज़्यादा अंदर आएंगे मेरे ख्याल. All kind of designs. No, recently, sometimes back, I went to the National Institute of Design, NID, our own Ahmedabad-based company, and there was a set of designs of different products by the NID students. Beautiful, and it has a diverse range of products, including homemade products like cutlery, cups and saucers of such a beautiful design. Nobody has seen it. Okay, so design is a very, very important part of what the business and industry world over, and I think we need to do much more about that in terms of awareness. And one of the example is this: while we have a National Institute of Design in Ahmedabad, last few years, more than one universities and good universities have started their design course. Okay, and let me tell you, they have never have a problem of finding and searching for the students. The design courses of these universities are getting filled immediately. That also indicates the importance and value of design in the world of business and industry. And it's an intellectual property right. It cannot be taken lightly. Nobody can infringe the design. People are taking, whether it's a pharmaceutical tablet, a D-shaped tablet, okay, or a bottle of Coca-Cola, which is designed now. You know the famous case of Cello, where it came out with a shape of a design and somebody came out with a similar design. Cello won the case. So people don't allow it to be, infringed just like that. You may say, what is the shape of bottle? It's a lot, okay. So I'm happy that today we are talking about designs, or what we call industrial design. It's a very, very vital component of intellectual property right domain and of course design industry. I wish all the best to the men. Of course, I'm here only, and I look forward to learning much more in the domain of industrial designs and design as a whole from Dr. Pradeep, Ketan, and all the speakers. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to share some of my views. Look forward to the deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for these views. Now, I would request our guest, Mr. Pradeep Chaudhary, being a principal consultant and advisor, Industry Development Network at New Delhi. He is an industrial designer and consultant in innovation and product design development. With over 28 years of experience, he works as an advisor or as a turnkey project specialist in the diverse industries. He has participated in development of new product launches ranging from automotive, electrical, consumer, healthcare, defense, and telecommunication. In 2000, he received Innovators Award for design with engineered materials in energy management. He has also developed patent and design registration in many projects and filed by transfer IP rights to his client. He worked in industry development team building engineered solutions across entire European region with major OEMs. He being the head of business development for GEP engineered resins portfolio for 5 years until starting out his own consulting design plans in 2006 and industrial development network in 2017. Mr. Pradeep is an alumnus of NID, Ahmedabad with a specialization in product design discipline of integrated 5 years industrial design. I now request Mr. Pradeep Chaudhary to share his thought with us.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever part of the world you are. I hope I'm audible and you can see my screen clearly.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I would like to put my perspective on industrial design. And it is, for a lot of people, sometimes still not as established a field of work as engineering or medicine or law is, for example. But the impact that it has is actually not fully understood. It is much more. If we look at our history and we look at even Indian mythology, and you find all kinds of constructions, chariots, flying machines, are mentioned. Nobody seems to be having proof of those, and I'm not a propagator of that, but you imagine the visualization and you imagine the possibilities and you imagine the creativity and you imagine the colors, shapes, and forms in our mythology. So we have a very rich culture of design if we try to take inspiration from our culture, from our crafts, from our architecture, etc. In today's environment, the world is globalized. Production happens all over the world. Global teams work. There are factories. Population has grown. We are in billions. So products are produced by very large numbers. And that's where the concept of industrial design really comes in, where the impact is on a very large number of people. And that is what differentiates it primarily from a craft or individual skill that a person may be creating for himself or for a much smaller section. Now, also, as already mentioned, for differentiation in marketplace, because there's a lot of competition, industries strive, big MNCs strive, individuals strive, entrepreneurs want the slice of the cake. So there is a lot of reason for protection of innovation, which is really the intent of today. So, we must look at it in a way that when we talk of the biggest companies in the world, and in market capitalization, Apple these days is very big. At one point in time, it was Volkswagen. At one point in time, it was GE, my previous company. All these companies thrived on what? They thrive on innovation. And design is central to innovation. Little we realize how design can bring improvements in quality of life of everyone, and the impact that it has. Even if one was to look at the new procedures in medical science, or new products which are coming in that enable much deeper level of scanning, or much deeper level of surgery, or remote devices with IoT or 5G technologies coming in, all these products have been designed before they can be put to use, and before the people, like I gave the example of medicine, can really benefit. So design is really central in a very big way, and highly critical in today's environment. Now, I'm going to share my perspective with you. Less of words and more of visual. I'm going to take you into a world of how industrial designers think and what's it all about, and how intellectual property is created. So I'm going to share a small story. So this begins with me on a walk, and I was driving by. It was a holiday, and I saw this shape on the roadside, and it looked interesting. So it caught my attention. It was a beautiful early morning, about 8 p.m., beautiful white light glow. I stopped the car and reached back for this form, and I couldn't understand. It looked like a human figure made out of metal. One would call it a toy, but it looked a lot, more industrial for it to be a toy. So I couldn't find anybody around. I picked it, and it was almost saying, "You pick me, take me." So I picked it, and I looked at it when I got it back. It was amazing, a humanoid sort of a figure, and lovely form and proportions, simple metal construction. And it started to give me also some inspiration. So I decided to clean it up. It was a little rustic. And as I did that, I cleaned it up and I polished it back. It seemed to communicate. It got happy. Started some sort of a visual communication. I was really surprised. It had that energy in it and intelligence I couldn't believe. And so I put it in the light to see more closer. I switched on a lamp, and it just changed the light coming from its so-called face to the color of the lamp. I was very intrigued. What's going on? Oh, and I found this is a highly intelligent being, toy, whatever one would like to call it. So I turned the light, because I couldn't understand what was going on. I turned the light to white, blue light, and it responded. It also changed the light coming from its face. So I was very intrigued. And as if it wanted me to do something. And then it kind of popped up a expression that looked like, oh, are you done? Is there anything else you have to share with me? I'm waiting. And I didn't know what it really meant, what it wanted to say. So it turned on a white light. And it was like it wanted me to respond this time. And I looked around. I didn't have white light. I had only yellow light, and I had the blue light. It was waiting. It was waiting, and it turned back white light on. I was thinking if I could get a white bulb, maybe I'll put it in my lamp and I'll be able to respond. So I went to the marketplace. I thought, why not? Let me get a white bulb. But in the market, I only saw warm light bulb or the white light bulbs, which were bluish. You can call it cool white light bulbs. I couldn't get a white light bulb that looked like this. So I did a little search, looked at all the suppliers. Could I get a LED bulb from Philips or Wipro or Cisco or, you know, whoever are the leading players? I couldn't get a white light bulb. So it was like, I mean, is this it? Is my communication over? Then I did a little bit of research to find what's the game here. And, you know, we all know this color temperature in light, and where the sweet spot lied. The sweet spot lied in between the warm and the cool blue, the white blue, which was a neutral. But I was surprised that the neutral lamp is not available in the market, which translated to something like 4,000 Kelvin. I'm talking about the color temperature of the light. So the warm light we buy is about 2,700 Kelvin to 3,000 Kelvin. And the cool white light that we buy is 6,000 to 6,500 Kelvin. But this beautiful white glow, which is like the daylight, is about 4,000 Kelvin. And I couldn't find that bulb. So I decided to pursue this, to make it available for everyone. And this is where a simple study example is, you know, the sort of things designers do using innovative processes or get inspired by things. I just wanted to share that experience with you, that a case was established to make this beautiful daylight glowing 4,000 K lamp. So finally, I managed to get this lamp and respond to my thing, and it seemed to be happy. Happy so much that I was shown that happiness. But then an idea was born, a business case was born. And if you look at the size of the lighting industry, it's in thousands of crores. But you know, a business case and a communication package was born that this 4,000 Kelvin or lighting for 4,000 Kelvin or L4K lies as the sweet spot between the light which is yellowish white and the bluish white. And that's how this identity was formed. So you see this L4K identity. So just to represent that identity and make the real white stand out, you know, many explorations were done, a sort of visual explorations, designs, industrial designs, whatever you would like. In this case, these are visual explorations. It's convincing that yes, white light is good for the eyes. It gives the best color rendition. So why we don't use it so often? Everywhere it seemed to look good. If it obviously all colors of the spectrum and all colors of light have a place in proper environment, but not having white light bulb itself looked very, very surprising, and the business case started getting stronger and stronger. Now this is intellectual property, and it created the momentum, and a positioning was conceived as if a lightning was striking, and that was the white that had been missed on the ground. So this is a sort of a identity. You can call it a positioning identity or a product identity for the new lamp range in various forms and shapes, which are targeted to have light 4K or light 4000 Kelvin as the sweet white glowing light. So we filled the gap, and we have a product right in the middle, the sweet spot between the three spectrums. Now, the body is intrigued and thinking for more. What are the next things, next creativity, next trigger that it can bring? And in the meantime, while that was happening, I was thinking about the intellectual property. Can this proposition be furthered by a unique shape of the bulb itself? Because one of the common problems with the bulbs is that they do not distribute the light in all directions properly. So a shape was designed which would also throw the light in a proper way on the lower side and on the peripheral sides, and not biased towards throwing more light on the top. So this is a sort of a process that keeps evolving as the designers, as the industrial designers do their work. And to make it happen, of course, there's a lot of engineering here, IPR ranges. If you see this example, from viewpoint of product identity, from viewpoint of shape and form, which is industrial design file, and also from viewpoint of maybe a patent, because there may be certain technological aspects involved in implementing this, because the LED diodes themselves have certain electronics and certain gaseous composition to enable a perfect white glowing light. So the IPR involved in this visualization may be stepping on many aspects. And this is true for, this is a product that I designed for a client some time ago. And industrial design, how do you ensure that this will not be copied if it catches on in the marketplace? If it looks better than the wiring devices that we put on our wall, how do I ensure that somebody will not just copy this? All the hard work that I have done for my client who's paid me for it, will not be jeopardized by someone taking away the so I need to protect it. I need to protect it, and I need to ensure that something like this or something similar to this is not wrongfully copied and produced. This is a reminder during COVID times, innovation happens. So here the glasses were required at the peak of it. And in this case, even a shield has been integrated. Again, a product that probably is worthy of intellectual property protection. Sometimes companies make their identity go into graphics. In addition to the 3D, it blends into 2D, and these kind of things also become unique identifiers for companies' products. And even simple things like these can make a person identify that, oh, this kind of product belongs to that company, and I know this style is what that company followed. So it becomes intellectual property. Here you see a EV charger. These days, there's a lot of sensitivity about emissions, and electrical vehicles are slowly growing, though this is developed for a client outside India. But when you install these and you put in the effort, and there's a lot of element of engineering, thermal heat dissipation, analysis of how the rectifiers will cool. So there's a lot of visual characteristic and there's a lot of technical characteristic in it. And all that constitutes the IP at various levels in the design process, all the way from color schemes to product form to the technology packaging that's going inside, touching upon various aspects that need to be protected. Even a simple thing like this is a battery, even a simple thing like, otherwise all batteries will start looking the same. Here differentiation of parts and components have been done by a certain color scheme that becomes unique to a positioning of the product from a particular company. Another example of EV charger on the parking lot, all these things. So the buddy is happy, it's got what it wanted, and I am happy to share with you this experience of inspiration that touches upon an industrial designer's life almost every day, similar experiences, and makes innovation happen, makes great products happen. So I just want to make a disclaimer now that most of it was imaginary, and this imagination was real. Thank you very much.
We are honored by your esteemed presence here, and we thank you for sparing your valuable time with us. Thank you so much, sir. I now request Mr. Ketan Bhatt to enlighten all of us with glimpse of industrial design and intellectual property. Mr. Ketan is a trademark attorney and heads the trademark division of our firm with his expertise and experience. He holds a master's degree in law with specialization in intellectual property right and also bachelor degree in commerce from Gujarat University. He is also a member of Bar Council of Gujarat. I now request Mr. Ketan Bhatt to share his presentation and views on industrial design and intellectual property.
Thank you so much, Jalashri. Good morning, everyone. Before I start my presentation, I just like to thank Managing Trustee of Marketing.org, Dr. Rajesh Kumar Acharya, to give me the opportunity to share my views on industrial design and intellectual property. And as he said, of course, because while talking about the intellectual property, people always, thought about the patents and trademarks. And as far as industrial design is concerned, we don't have much awareness, how to protect it all. So before I start my presentation, I just need to, give a brief introduction as far as the intellectual property rights is concerned. So in intellectual property rights, mainly patents, trademark, copyright, and design, these four different, protections are there. As far as patent is concerned, an invention on remote control mechanism can be protected by patent law, and patent right is valid for 20 years from the date of filing. So whatever the new invention, the modifications, new improvement or process, you can protect it under the Patent Act. As far as trademark is concerned, the trade name, brand name, the packaging design, these all things can be registered under the trademarks. Copyright, the user manual, cinematographic film, software works, artistic works, these all things can be registered under the copyright. Now let's talk about the design. A design of a TV set can be protected under the design law, and design right is valid for 15 years from the date of filing the application. So I can also give you another example like Walkman, because we all know that in the 90s people used to walk with the stereo on their shoulder and they used to listen to music. But then after Sony brings new invention with the Walkman, which you can keep it in your pocket and you can listen to music easily. So the new invention can be protected under the Patents Act. The design of the Walkman can be registered under the Design Act. Trademark Walkman, we all know, is a well-known trademark, which is can be registered under the Trademarks Act, and the music CD plays under the Walkman can be protected under the Copyright Act. So before I discuss anything about the design, let's talk about how design is important and vital. There is a very good quote over there that when companies are competing at an equal price and functionality, design is the most differential that matters. This example can be taken when going with a car, mobile, or any other automobile industries. When the companies are competing at equal price and functionality, design plays the vital role. This is the word of Mr. Mark quoted in the Time magazine. Now, let's talk about the power of the design. We already have a very good example from Mr. Chaudhary. Well, design typically represents the smallest actual cost element in products. It powers the largest cost influence. Well, while we used to go to purchase the mobile or car, design is the most essential part as far as those products is concerned. Now, let's see how the cost element and all is working. The 30% is for overhead, 15% of labor, 50% on material, and only 5% on design. Now let's talk about the revenue part. 70% is the most important thing. Now let's also talk about the legal part of the industrial design. Well, Padminji already asked that why it is called industrial design. I also need to tell you that whatever work you actually create on a piece of paper, it may be called as an artistic work which can be protected under the Copyright Act. As far as the design is concerned, it should be applied to an article, and then only you will get the protection under the Design Act. So that is the only, that means in definition also, as per section 2D of the Industrial Design Act, a design of an article may be registered if the feature, shape, configuration, pattern, or ornament given to an article by industrial process. So whether manual, mechanical, chemical, separate or combined, which is in the finished form in the article and appeal to an eye and judged solemnly by the eye. The principle or the mode of construction of the article or mechanical devices cannot be registered as a design, and trademarks and trade names are also excluded from the scope of design. Now let's talk about what can be registered. As per section 2A of the Design Act, any article of manufacture and substance, artificial or partly artificial and partly natural, and includes the part of an article capable of being made and sold separately in the market. Now, car can also be registered, and the parts of the car, headlamp of the car, rear lamp of the car, the front guard of the car, which part can be sold separately in the market, that can also be registered in the design. I can also give you another example of printer. Well, being a lawyer, we used to take so many printouts, so of course we have to, purchase the printer. But as far as the toner cartridge is concerned, we used to change it in 6 or 8 months. So the toner cartridge, which can be sold separately in the market, can also be registered under the industrial design, and it gives so much revenue to the company so that no one else can produce the toner cartridge of the identical design, whether it is a Canon or HP. Now let's talk about what cannot be registered under industrial design. Section 4 of the Industrial Design Act. If the article is not new and old or original, Well, just like patent, the prima facie requirement is that article should be novel. It has not been disclosed to the public anywhere in India or other country by publication in the tangible form or by application and the priority date of the application of the registration. Then is not significantly distinguishable from known design or combination of known design. Well, if any marginal similarity or marginal changes you made in the article, and then if you wish to file a design application for that article, it is not possible. It should be significantly distinguishable, or it's comprised of contents of scandalous or obscene matter shall not be registered. Now let's talk about the benefits of industrial design. How it is useful as far as the business development is concerned. Now, the first thing, provide exclusive right. Any IP, whether it is patent, trademark, copyright, or design, it gives you the exclusive right. As far as the design is concerned, whatever the changes you made, whatever the shape, configuration, or patent you have applied to an article, you will get the exclusive right of that design for 15 years. Then, strong market position. If your design is registered, you have the exclusive right. And if that design strikes, means people used to love that particular article, and if you have the protection, you will have the strong market position in the market. Higher returns on investment. There are so many different examples for higher returns as far as the design is concerned. If you have a new and unique designs, if you are the protected your design, of course you will have the higher returns. Just think about that. Once you have created a new design and you didn't register it, in the future, if your design clicks in the market, if you don't have the registration, as far as design is concerned, the registration is mandatory. If you want to send a legal notice to someone else, or if you want to file a legal suit against someone, the design registration should be there. Opportunity to license or sell the invention. Well, if you are a engineering students or telecommunications engineering students, if you have created a new design for mobile or any other automobile equipments, it's not necessary that whether you are able to manufacture that or not. I have seen lots of students, they have created a new designs and they have approached the good mobile manufacturer companies or automobile companies. They used to give a license to them, then they also get the good revenues out of that design. Increase in negotiating power. Well, IP portfolio nowadays, it's very important. People used to see how many patents or designs you have in your portfolio. So, of course, if you have a registered design, then it will increase your negotiating powers and positive image of your company, of course, as I said. Now, let's see what we can protect under the design. There are, there are so many confusion as far as the protection of patents and design is concerned. In patent, any improvement or new inventions or process, you can register another patent. As far as the external part of the particular article, you can register another design. I can also give you the other example of Mercedes car. Whenever the Mercedes car, launched in the market, that this has two different, improvisation was there. First is the noise, and second is the vibration. Whatever the mechanical improvement are there, it can be registered under a patent. But as far as the shape is concerned, even if Mercedes car goes in front of you, whether you are able to see the brand of it or not, but you will recognize that by seeing the shape of the car. You will see that, you will understand that this is a Mercedes car. So any external changes applied to an article, modifications are there, you can claim under the Design Act. So this is the design of a car in which we can claim the shape of the particular design, particular car, and we need to produce different views of the particular article. So in this design, we can claim the shape of the article. In this design application for mobile, well, each and every mobile contains almost the similar kind of a shape. I have never seen the round shape mobile or rectangle shape mobile, but as far as this mobile is concerned, you can claim the shape and or configuration of the article. Then surface pattern you can claim. They have created a surface where you can easily punch the numbers in the slope. So you can also claim the surface in the design. So this would be your novelty statement, that the novelty resides in the shape of the car. Then the novelty resides in the shape or configuration of the mobile, and novelty resides in the surface pattern of the article as solid telephone. You can also claim the ornamentation of an article. And as far as the ornamentation is concerned, you can write in the novelty resides in the ornamental surface pattern of the gemstone. Well, floral ornamentation can also be claimed. Well, while filing the application, there is no need to highlight or pinpoint any portion of the representation as novel, as the novelty of the design resides in the article taken as a whole. Now, what are the disclaimers? What you need to disclaim while filing the design application? No claim is made by virtue of registration of respect of any mechanical or other action of any mechanism, whether or in respect of any mode or principle of construction of the article. As I said, it is the subject matter of patent. Then no claim is made by virtue of this registration to any right to the exclusive use of trademarks, words or letters and numerals appearing in the design. Of course, you need to file a separate application as far as the brand is concerned or any color combinations of logo is there. So it is the subject matter of trademarks and copyright. No claim is made of virtue of registration to any right to exclusive use of color or color combination appearing to the design if the applied article is in a different color or color combination, because it's a subject matter of copyright, or any extraneous matter cannot be claimed. It should be disclaimed. Now, just like patents and trademark, design also gives you the rights in the particular territory. So if you want to protect your design in other countries, and if you're already exporting your design in other countries, you need to file a separate application in those countries. And the time limit, if you want to claim the priority, because it saves the novelty of the article, the 6-month time limit is there. You need to decide within 6 months in how much countries you want to protect your design. It is required to file a certified copy of priority documents to claim the priority of the earlier application, which you need to obtain from the design office. Now let's briefly go with the procedure. What is the procedure now? Well, first thing should always be there to conduct the search, because each and every creator or inventor, they feel that this is the new design. This is my, I have created this, but it is always advisable to conduct the search of the design. And 2 types of search you can conduct before the design of this. One, when the design application number is that you've already seen one design, and if someone has already seen mentioned in the article that design registration number so and so, which is also, if your design is registered, you need to mention to claim the damages. So first search when the registration number is supplied, or when the registration number is not supplied. So if you want to conduct the search in second method, then you need to produce the view of the article. Like if this is your article, then you need to produce the front view, rear view, top view, bottom view, and the perspective view. Perspective view is a combination of top and front view of the article. And if your design is absolutely unique and new, design office will send you the clearance search certificate. And another thing, you should also conduct the search in the market as well, because as we know that people are not much aware as far as the design registration is concerned. If it has been already used by someone else, even though they have not filed the application, but even if they're already used by someone else in the market, your design application is liable to be cancelled. Then once the search report is done, you can file the application. Online and manual, both options are available. For individuals, MSMEs, and startup, the fees is 1,000, and for large entities, the government fees is 4,000. Once the application is filed, the design office will going to examine the application. Substantive examinations is there. They will going to search, examining both the ways whether design is registrable or not. Section 4 and Section 2D and A. They will going to see the article with comparing and compare it with the definition of article and design. And they will also going to search whether any identical or design is there which is already registered before the design office. Once the examination report issued by the design office, the reply should be given within 3 months from the date of official communication of his objection to the applicant or his agent. So the period of removal of the objection shall not be exceed the time period of 6 months from the date of filing the application. So within 6 months from the date of filing the application, all the objections should be removed, or the objection should be entertained, and the reply should be given. Once the reply is given, if they are satisfied, they will going to accept. If they are not satisfied, they will give you the hearing. And in the hearing, if they accept, they will going to register the design. And once it is registered, it will going to published in the patent office journal, and they will going to grant the certificate. And once it is registered, it is valid for 10 years, and you can renew it for further 5 years. This is how the certificate of design looks like. As I said, the term of the design is 15 years, initially 10 years, and you can renew it for further 5 years. And these are the few designs. As far as design is everywhere in our life, just like a design of car, motorcycle, toothbrush, watch, mobile, furniture, and consumer products like wallet, shoes, paintbrush, scissor, refrigerator. Pharmaceutical products, as Padmin rightly said, D-shaped tablets. There are also other, different shapes are there as far as the pharmaceutical products and devices is concerned. Textile and jewelry, which you can claim the surface patent as far as textile is concerned, and in the jewelry portion, you can also claim the shape or configuration. So these are the few examples. Then in farm machinery also, there are so many different designs or articles are there. If you have any shape or configuration, you can claim that, and you can file the application for those machineries as well. So with this submission, I just like to end my presentation, and thank you so much for listening me. If you have any query or questions, you can also anytime write email. My email ID is already there in the presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Bhatt, for such an useful presentation. I now request Ms. Dimple Dave to appraise this gathering with her vote of thanks. Ms. Dimple Dave is a trademark agent and holds bachelor degree in commerce from Gujarat University. With her extensive knowledge relating to intellectual property right, she counsels the client on IPR issues as well as managing expensive trademark portfolios for national and international clients. I now request Ms. Dimple Dave to deliver a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Jarashri. Good morning, everyone. It gives an immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks to all dignitaries assembled here for this webinar. First of all, I would like to thank the Managing Trustee of markpatent.org, Dr. Rajesh Kumar Acharya, for arranging this wonderful webinar, which would enlighten industrial design and intellectual property. Dr. Rajesh Kumar Acharya has taken the noble initiative of conducting webinar on IP and its legal aspect to help the people to gain legal knowledge of IP and its various branches. I would also like to thank Mr. Padmin Buj, who is IP domain expert, for his keynote address. He shared his experience and knowledge, which would be very useful to us. Now, I would like to extend my gratitude to very distinguished speaker, Mr. Pradeep Chaudhary, Principal Consultant and Advisor of Industry Development Network, for sharing his very knowledgeable presentation and thoughts on industrial design perspective. I would like to express our sincere thanks to Mr. Pradeep Chaudhary for giving an excellent coverage to his idea like the dark side of IP, benefits to large business, etc. Thank you very much, sir. We are grateful to Mr. Ketan Bhatt, advocate and trademark attorney at HK Acharya and Company, for his demonstrating on industrial design and intellectual property. Mr. Bhatt has wonderfully covered the topics related to definition of design and design procedure with example. I must say it was very informative presentation. Last but not the least, thank you all the viewers for joining this webinar. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. In closing, I wish to express my gratitude to all the panelists, participants, and speakers for their full cooperation. It offers me a chance to commemorate our success in pursuing excellence in the field of IPR as well as in the industrial design. We are privileged to have in attendance such a distinguished experts as well as observers. Having such resourceful and knowledgeable panelists which have helped us to gain insight on strengthening mechanism as a means of promoting IPR. With this, we sum up our session, wish everyone to stay home and stay safe. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen.
Good webinar. Thanks all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, all of you.
Yeah, good webinar. Look forward to another one.
Yeah.
Okay, bye bye everybody.
Thank you.
Okay.